Hi everyone, I'm Gil Turan, Chief Executive Officer of iCarnegie, a Carnegie Mellon company. And we're here to talk about workforce development and the real needs to develop the workforces in Mexico, in Latin America, in a different way than previously done. The real issue we have with workforce development today is that industry is looking for different things than it used to before. Our world today is much more complex. It requires skilled workforce that exist in large numbers to meet industry needs. It requires specific skills and abilities that run beyond what is typically taught in most universities, and requires an integration of components that include foundational knowledge, soft skills, people skills, the way to interact with people on a team, work with clients, work with vendors, work with bosses and people on a team, as well as project experiences to allow us to do what we need to do to meet industry needs. When you think about workforce development, most countries find that they have not enough people to be able to meet industry needs. So being able to go out and get projects that industry could bid on requires enough people, and unless you have the right numbers of people, and unless you have the quality and skills and abilities for those people at the level industry requires, you have a number of problems on your hands. The way to address some of these issues require a foundational a strategy and a real thinking behind how do you do this in a constructive way that includes an investment in education, and a lot of it investment in technological education. What most countries have found in the last few years is that to be able to address some of their needs, they have to put together a strategy that takes into consideration multiple things that includes education, teacher training, and a collaboration with industry that takes into account the changing needs of industry, so the curriculums, the programs, and the skills and abilities developed by the people get adjusted over time to meet the challenges that industry is facing as they change over time. One of the things that is very important is to think about development of software and projects in the skills that they require. When you think about project management and the impact of project management, the exposure to the needs of the projects, whether it's risk management, process, planning, estimation, the understanding that we work with people on teams, and all of those elements have to be done in a way that are introduced in curriculums and in programs at the university level, and then in professional education and professional development programs once you finish your degrees at the university. When you think about doing all of this together, it requires a focus of the kinds of courses, the kinds of programs, the kinds of skills and abilities that don't exist typically in the universities. And so what happens is you end up looking for how do you supplement education by introducing some of these concepts, by bridging these from industry. Mexico has a wonderful opportunity to educate its people and bring it to the level where it can meet industry needs, it can bid on projects internationally, and use its abilities as a country with the people that they have to be able to take a leadership role in the whole Latin American region. It requires multiple things. On the one hand, an investment in the educational platform that exists, universities, K-12 education to prepare people for the university, as well as professional and continuing education. It requires skills and abilities. On one hand, project management, technical skills, process skill, as well as focus on soft skills, the things you need to do when you work with people on teams, when you work with people on projects, when you manage conflict, when you motivate and lead people, when you deal with issues that have to do with negotiating with clients and vendors and bosses, as well as a focus on making these programs practical. The need for practical programs allows us to bring to the classroom the scenarios, the situations that people will be working on in a non-threatening environment where they can learn from these experiences, gain expertise, and do it in a way that could be guided, mentored, and providing feedback to these students. So when they go back to the workforce, they're able to have gone through some of these experiences and have been able to learn certain things of how to deal with these situations. So they're much more productive and much more practical when they graduate. The needs of the workforce in Mexico are not any different than what happens in other countries around the world. We've seen things in India, in China, other countries in Latin America that require similar investments. Most of these countries are trying to become competitive. They understand the value of partnership with organizations who have provided some of these skills and abilities to other countries around the world, and they understand that through partnerships, global partnerships, where we take the best curriculums, the best programs, the best teaching abilities, the best teaching methods, and provide them to other countries, they could create and we could create together a partnership that allows us to educate people on a large scale and provide those qualities so we can meet industry needs immediately and be able to be competitive in a fast and short time frame. Good luck, and please be successful.